I was watching more Impractical Jokers, Kyle, and you know how they have like episodes where they'll collect the uncomfortable punishments and put them together. Like, it's so simple, and I thought of this one to bring up to you because you're an ex-smoker. One of his punishments was he had to go into like the middle of New York in like a smoking section in the streets, and he had to walk up to people and steal their cigarettes out of their mouth and put them out in front of them.
Oh.
And then like a cup, like you see like smokers, they're addicts to nicotine, and he just took their drugs. They get fucking furious, like so mad. One guy wants to fight. He gets to one guy who's like, they tell him like, if you get that guy's whole pack of cigarettes, the punishment's over. And so Murr is wearing like a $700, $800 like nice jacket.
Yeah.
And they're like, he's like, I don't know how to get the cigarettes. And so he goes, the guy's like, hey, we're about the same size, right? You give me your whole pack of cigarettes, you get this nice jacket. I'm not ripping you off. It's a very nice jacket. I don't want to do this. I just got it. And so then this one guy's like looking around like, are you gonna rob me back or something? Like, what's going on? And then no, he just got a random dude for a half a pack of like Parliaments, got a $900 jacket or something insane. How would you have responded though if someone came up to you randomly, took the cigarette out of your mouth, and then ashed it on the ground?
It depends so much on how many more cigarettes I have. Because if I've got a full
it's your last one.
Let's say this. I have an extra pack. Like I did the 2-pack special, right? And saved the 222. And now I've got an extra in here. Hey, what are you doing, man? Yeah, it's bad for me, I know, but gotta have them. Like, that's how that goes down. If it's my last one and I needed that one, oh my God, we're screaming. We're screaming in public. We're screaming in public. I'm trying to think of a way that this is theft somehow.
like trying to contact your attorney or something.
Like I don't know what to do now. I'm not gonna throw hands because I'm a fucking felon. but you know what I mean. But like, Jesus, that would be like if you've ever smoked and you know like how stressful your day can be in work, maybe, and like finally you get to go outside. Mm-hmm. I'm picturing like a nurse. Like, I know a lot of nurses who smoke, and like that smoking break is a big deal. Like they see some rough shit and then they go downstairs and they need a minute. And you take that cigarette out of that person's mouth, like that little pressure release valve that they had. Yeah, that could go real poorly for you. That's a hard one. I would not.
Very
want that.
Hard one.
I saw even the ones where there's little things that are like weird with like men and women. Like there's some where they get more points the more they touch the other person.
Yep.
But if you do it just right, you can touch a stranger a lot. If you're just like, yeah, you know how it is, man. You like touch them on the shoulder. Look, you've been there before, and you sort of like do that thing where you like reach over and put like your palm on like their shoulder like that. You're just like, hey, you've been there, right? Like you're here, you're there. And you can kind of like work that into a story, and like, look, you're not gonna like love it, but like you can, if the guy's like,
he's not gonna respond violently, probably.
Yeah.
Right? If the guy's,
if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, man, this guy's animated. He's pumped up. He's like trying to pull me into the story. I like this guy. I'd be okay with it. It's a friendly thing. But like one of them, they were like, if you touch his face, you're done. Because he's already touched on the shoulder a few times. And the guy is like trying to get away from him. And like, and he's just like, oh yeah, I like your beard. He's got like a goatee thing going on. He's like, I like your beard. I want to grow one out, but I can't. Oh, can I? Oh yeah, it's really nice. And he's just like in this guy's
he's in there, huh?
And look, whether it matters or not, it's a black man's face he's touching. The black guy goes, he smiles and doesn't move a bit, and he's like, yeah, it's nice, isn't it? While Murr, whoever it was, is just like really giving it a like tug and like rub.
And that's
like,
an easy one.
Chin beard, like he's like, down here.
Touching the face is even easy by what they do. I remember they gave Sal, it was just a challenge. They're like, all right, and they do it all in the middle of New York. Like middle of New York, very social, park areas. People are walking around, high density, obviously. It's New York. And they were like, all right, Sal, go out there and we'll tell you what to do. And he does. And he's like, all right, you got to find someone and you got to kiss their abs. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, you got to find someone and you got to get them to pull their shirt up and let you kiss their abs. And so like he's going around asking people.
This is what I trained for.
It's so uncomfortable. And he eventually finds someone, like some old man, like I think it's the old man's like face is even blurred out, which meant they approached him afterwards like, hey, do you mind being on the show? He's like, no, fuck off. And so he's like, can I kiss your abs? And so then he gets on his knees in the middle of the park and kisses this old man.
He did it?
Yeah.
Because they have to do it in the middle of the park. No, because they know it's embarrassing and they do humiliate themselves, but they also make it more embarrassing to like
that's for the
pump
show.
it up. Yeah.
Oh,
one that I genuinely don't know if I could do. Because like if put to the test, like I could skydive, they could push me out of a plane. I would hate it, but I could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they put Sal as a punishment in an escape room, and it was a fake escape room. And the escape room leader, like the worker there, before they went in, was like, "All right, we're gonna pick a leader for the group. Sal, you're the leader, so you kind of organize everything." And it's him and like 8 other random people. Something. They go into the room and they're like, "All right, Sal, you just keep finding clues, but at some point." You have to piss your pants. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, at some point, you need to figure out how to piss your pants because this punishment isn't over until your pants are soaked in piss. And so he's like walking around clearly stressed out as shit, like, what do you think about that clue? Yeah. I don't know. And so then he like just goes and stands there and they're like, draw attention to yourself, draw attention while you're pissing. And he's like, everyone, I have to go. And he's standing on a chair so everyone can see him. And you can see him like trying to piss because your body doesn't want to piss your pants because it knows you're not by a toilet. And you just see like an afternoon at a baseball game beer amount of piss just soaking his khakis. And then as soon as he does that, he like tries to be like, all right, is that it? And they're like, no, bud, you got to solve the puzzle. And so then they made him go around. They're like, we want you to be really involved. See that woman? See that woman working on that puzzle? I want you to walk up right behind her and help. And so he's walking behind people soaked in piss. Just trying to help. It is so goddamn embarrassing, but it is so fucking funny.
Oh my god, I haven't seen that one.
Are they still making episodes?
They
are,
still making
one
episodes.
of them is leaving the show.
Yeah, Joe, my favorite guy on the show, one of the 4, he's my favorite.
Joe's bulletproof.
Yeah, you can't humiliate that guy.
The only time Joe loses is when the game is rigged against him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they tell Joe to do something, he just fucking does it. So they'll be like, find a woman with a parakeet on her head. And it's like, wait, what? You lose. And it's like, well, all right, I guess fuck you because the game's rigged against me. Okay. Oh, what are you gonna do to me at the end? Oh, you'll make me do a fashion show? Tricks on you. I brought my own bikini. Like he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like
he's the one. He always
care.
Reverses the punishment until like the audience who's supposed to be cringing is like laughing with him at like the absurdity.
He's the one that I told you had the fan rub him down with lotion and the fan didn't realize that he's being recorded. The fan thinks he's recognized a TV show host in a park sunbathing. Meanwhile, they're filming an episode and he's like, hey, would you rub me down with suntan lotion? And it's SPF 10,000. So he's painting him white. It's like
zinc oxide.
It's that stuff you only put on your nose when you're like fishing or like
a lifeguard
out on the water.
Who has the tattoos?
Everyone, but so there was an episode. It was it's Sal, Mur, Joe, and Q. And Q, Sal, and Mur, they all tied for loser, which means that Joe won, so he got to pick the punishment. And he chose tattoos, and that was that one, which is the most brutal thing. And they kept
one of them has both. One of them has Jaden Smith on both thighs, though.
Who has that?
That's Sal. Poor fucking Sal. He's the and like it's funny.
That reveal is one of the funniest things ever because like they're in a unique position because he just happens to have those 2 tattoos. He's the trick. The way you win is you get someone to. You read an email out loud to them and you have to get them to say, this is good to go, right? I should send it.
Yeah.
They have to say yes. So first of all, the email is like threatening someone's life and telling them that he's not going to put up with their shit and he's coming for them. And he's like, do you think I'm good to send it? Because let me explain. I tried to get a tattoo of my son and I got this and it's Jaden Smith.
Yeah.
That is not my son. This is my son. And it's just like, fucking pure like white blonde-eyed or blonde hair blue-eyed kid, handsome little kid, and she's like, that is not your son. I would be mad. It's like, you think it's worse? They threw in a free tattoo if I go back. They did this. She's like, oh no.
And they're both.
So the email's good to go, right?
The other one's
messing
Jaden
up.
Smith
He's
too,
like,
by the
yes,
way.
send it.
Oh, and like
the email mentioned threat. I think the email was like, just so you know, I'll come for you and your family. It was something like that. It was like a scary threat.
It's so disjointed always to be like, I'm coming for you. Watch your back. Take care. Or like something like that. The funniest thing about the tattoo reveal was they did it in the right order. And so like Q, who was at the time 38, lived alone and had 3 cats. His tattoo was a cat with around it. 38 lives alone, has 3 cats on his arm. And then Mur looks like a ferret. And so they put a ferret skydiving. And so it was like, oh, it has to do with you at least. And then Sal goes last and he rips it off. And his response, like Viscera, is like, what's this have to do with me?
It's so well done, too.
It is such a under the radar show because it's on True TV, but it is so fucking funny. And when you're watching season 1 and the punishments are mild, like they even talk about in later things, like interviews, they're like, yeah, the studio had so much control over season 1, they wouldn't let us hardly do anything. And then we got more control over it. The simple, uncomfortable ones, I think, are more funny in some ways than like the intense ones. Like it was funny watching Mur skydive because you can tell that he genuinely had a true fear of it. He talked about how before that in an interview, he was like, yeah, we didn't show this in the episode, but I locked myself in the bathroom at the skydiving location and I cried for about 20-25 minutes. And then I came out and did it. And but like one that was like worse for that, like that I could imagine myself having a harder time doing was like having to walk around a cafe and close people's laptops.
I didn't mind that one at all.
That's so uncomfortable, dude.
To me, I would absolutely pull that one off. Like that one seems easy.
Oh, the really rude, uncomfortable ones are hard.
Like all you got to do is like shake your head, apologize, and mention some vague rule or something, and walk away. And there's not going to be anything said. You could just be like, "I'm so sorry. It's the new rule." And you could just like close their laptop gently and walk away. And no circumstance does anyone, even like a crazy person, have an issue with you.
Oh,
I would not have a problem with that one.
The only time I saw them get Joe really good was when it was in like the Chinatown. His punishment was in the Chinatown area of New York. And, you know, they told him the punishment was, we told them that you are a classical oboist or whatever the fuck. And so we told them you're going to go up there and you're going to take that oboe or that you're going to take that clarinet and you're going to bang out a bunch of songs and stuff. But what was really, you know, the situation going on, which it was a made up situation, but the audience doesn't know that. They were in Chinese talking about the death of a young prodigy and his clarinet was up there on display in remembrance of him, and that no one will ever play it again out of respect for this young savant. And so they call him up. He's like, and the person's like, Joe Gato, and then he gets up there and walks up, and they're like, all right, buddy, time to play. And so he just grabs the clarinet from the ceremony thing and starts going, and like you can see all of the Chinese people in the audience like livid at the the disrespect. Just the disrespect, and he keeps going
because they probably think that this guy is playing it poorly on purpose as a mockery to a dead man.
They have no idea, but like that was, and it's not as bad because at the time you just think you're making an ass of yourself, but like afterward it's like, oh
there's
God.
A lot of them where they think they're there to do one thing and the rug is pulled out. So like I saw the one where he's dressed as Dracula. Like full on Dracula, and they tell him that he's going to be part of like some sort of a Dracula musical, and he's like, "All right, fuck it, you know, I'm a performer." He's not though. He's in a Christian black choir, and he's leading them.
And he's dressed, and they're all in their church robes, and he's Dracula in the middle of it. With
he's inexplicably Dracula amongst a bunch of black church ladies who are singing and clapping. And if you watch that one, there's like 2 of those ladies who are not having it. It seems like they did not know what they were getting into, and they are just like, fucking honky ass bitch wearing that fucking Dracula shit, disrespectful cocksucker. I'll take your money, give it to the church ladies. I clap and I ain't singing. Like these ladies are not having it. You can tell how upset they are with Dracula over there because he has to dance and sing, and they don't know why he's dancing and singing. I like that show a lot. I gotta find the two punishments
real
you
quick.
mentioned.
Here's the picture. Zach, if you could show the Kyle's finding the Jaden Smith one. You'll have to scroll down a sec, Zach, when you put it up. But it's what Mur looked like as Dracula with all the black singers. It's
oh god. Oh, but
it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can see a GIF in the top right over there. That's the one I think where he has to read maybe the wedding speech.
Oh yeah, where he like is making a bunch of sexual innuendos about the married couple.
No one knows him. He's like, Brittany's beautiful inside and out. I should know.
And they get all those close-ups of like aunts and uncles, like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, like someone's whispering to the bride, do you want me to stop this? Like they're ready to go beat the shit out of this guy. Like it's incredibly awkward, and it's a great premise for a show. I hope that it's still good after what's his name.
I really hope it's still good after Joe leaves, because and
the cool thing about it is it's just like such good. Each episode is really short. Like they're over before you know it. They do like 2 or 3 bits and then a punishment, and that's it. So every episode feels like these popcorn bites that you can just do one after another. So I'll be sitting there like eating lunch and watching, and like I'll watch 6 or 8 of them before it's over. They're really good.
They're really so fun.
And there's a lot of them on there. Like
when Joe has to go to a Mets game, and when the players are throwing the balls up to the kids, he has to intercept and keep every single ball for himself and openly talk about like another one for eBay, and like all the players like the players are mad at him. He had a mom chase him down like, that is not yours. You stole that from that boy.
He's like, another one for eBay.
he's like that's 7 for eBay. He had like a giant a fanny pack full of baseballs because he would walk over. Like there was a kid that caught one. He's like, that's really cool. Can I see that? Yeah. He just took it from the kid, put it in there, and walked away. And like adults were like, that's the kind of thing that'll get the shit kicked out of you in public.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
If that kid's parents saw that,
you can't.
Like, you would be in deep trouble.
Bully children.
No, you can't bully children. That's cruising for a bruising. Oh, you can. It's
that's the best.
Especially after we've been working out, right? Like I thought about the other day. I saw some punks at the gym. I was like, fuck you all up. Old school bully these kids. It'd be great, but probably not a good idea again because felon.
Yeah. You should lay off
it's
the
like
bullying.
they suck all the fun out of life once you get the felony charges. Yeah.
It should be a 5 strike and you're out.